that'd be awesome. Just so I can get to it.
One, two, three, four. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Yeah. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Cool. Great. Awesome.
Thanks, Benny.
Good afternoon, everyone. My name's Superintendent Troy Papworth from North West Metro Specialist Operations Division. Today I'm here to talk to you about a rally that will be held in the CBD this weekend, in which protesters are planning to block the King Street Bridge. The bridge is a major thoroughfare running north-south through our city. To block this bridge will cause significant disruptions to our community. There are several emergency services that will be affected by any closure to this bridge. On top of this, there'll be a significant number of people heading to work, heading to the AFL, and just heading out across the city to enjoy their weekend. Blocking this bridge will also impact public transport and limit people's ability to move freely around the city. I want to be clear that we support lawful and peaceful protest. We do it every weekend in this city. This will be the 92nd rally that police have worked with this group since these protests have started. But purposely blocking a major thoroughfare through the city is a risk that we just can't take, and we won't stand for it. We've tried to engage with this group and strongly encourage them to change their plans and not to occupy the bridge. But as of this morning, they've further reiterated their intent on social media to carry out their intent and block the bridge. We are now asking the broader protest group, the group that we know that are there to protest peacefully and lawfully and do the right thing for their cause, to consider their protest and to protest lawfully and peacefully. We have extensive intelligence on a smaller group of people that we will expect will engage in confrontation and criminal behaviour. If they do engage in criminal behaviour, they can expect to be dealt with by police and arrested. Our message for the protest group is to find another route, because all you'll be doing is disrupting vital emergency services and people just trying to earn a living. I want these people to imagine if it was their own loved ones who needed emergency services support and that emergency support was delayed by protest action. How would they feel if that was the case? I'm happy to take any questions. Obviously, I won't be speaking to police tactics or police numbers because we don't do that, but I'm happy to take any questions.
Where are you actually taking police from, though? Obviously, this is such a huge police presence that you will have. Is this going to disrupt other parts of your service?
So we'll be taking police from across the 4 regions of police all the way out as far as Geelong. We can reassure the public that there will be no disruptions to police service in their areas, but there will be financial impacts to this. People are being recalled to work for this demonstration on their rest days. There'll be financial implications to that, and there'll also be welfare implications to our members who are recalled on their rest days to come and resource a protest. But we only do this because the risk is so great, and if we don't get the resources to address this, then the risk to community is just something we can't accept.
The protest organisers have said that they will let emergency services vehicles through. Is that not enough to mitigate the risk?
We have had experience with protest organisers saying that before. It becomes quite challenging and problematic and does add another element of risk to the protest environment. And our experience has been that it significantly slows and delays emergency services in moving anywhere around the city anyway. So for us, accept that they do say that, but for us it is still a risk that we can't accept.
Do you worry about the safety risk if protesters manage to make it onto the bridge? We saw similar scenes at the Land Forces protest last year. If they do make it on there, is that a safety concern for your members and for police forces as well?
Yeah. As I said, it does present a significant risk to the community of anyone occupying and stopping traffic along this bridge. So absolutely it is a risk.
Will there be tactics for emergency services to, I guess, keep away from the city or this particular area if there is 000 call-outs and whatnot?
We have engaged with emergency services to let them know of what we expect to see in the CBD, but notwithstanding that, this is a major thoroughfare for running north-south across the Yarra River and into the city. So regardless of any other movements made, it will still significantly impact an emergency response if one's required.
So you
Obviously at the Land Forces protest we did see very violent clashes, violent scenes. What is your message to protesters about engaging in those sort of behaviours?
Our message to protesters in this case is to rethink their actions of going to the King Street Bridge. We've attempted to engage with protest organisers and dissuade them from coming to the bridge, and we're now reaching out to the majority of protesters who do it peacefully and lawfully and with the right intentions to choose another path and to not block this bridge, because we have said that we can't stand for it. There will be a police response if they do attempt to block the bridge, and we're asking people to reconsider that and conduct their protests lawfully and peacefully.
When you say there'll be a police response to if they do go and try and block the bridge, what do you mean by that? As in, can you arrest them or tell them to move on, or are you powerless to do that, given the laws?
If police are detecting offences, we can arrest them, absolutely. I don't want to go into what our police operational tactics on the day will be, but if people are engaging in criminal behaviour, they can expect to be arrested.
Obviously there's been calls for a permit system for protests. Do you think that this would actually help in this case, or protesters would just go about it anyway?
I think Victoria Police is on the record recently as saying that we don't support a permit system, and that is a view that I hold as well. These people don't engage with police well, and I would expect that they will continue to protest in this fashion, regardless of a protest permit system being in place.
These protesters are about saving lives and obviously what they're protesting for, but essentially on Sunday they are putting Victorian lives at risk. It seems like a bit of a contradiction.
Like I said, we work with these people every weekend. This is the 92nd time we've worked with these people in the protest environment every single Sunday for 92 Sundays in a row. Most of these protests are conducted lawfully and peacefully, and we work well together. But in this instance, we've said that the risk is too high, and that's why we have a really strong police presence, and we are dealing with the protest organisers to let them know that this is a risk we just can't accept.
How many officers can we expect to see roughly on Sunday?
I can't talk to operational numbers or tactics.
Was there any concern that signalling your intentions now to have this show of force of police would see perhaps some protesters double down and in fact be more antagonistic in the lead up to Sunday?
Look, that is a risk, but the purpose of this reach out is to reach out to people who are lawfully and peacefully protesting, the people who are there to do it for the right reasons, to let them know that this is a risk that police can't accept and that there will be a police response to people trying to block this bridge. And if those people are hearing our message, I would implore them to think of another way to protest lawfully and peacefully, to get their message across, but to not block the bridge.
Why are they going to the bridge? Why have they chosen that location?
That's a question I would expect that you'll have to ask them.
Last year, after Land Forces, police were looking for some specific organisers and protesters. Is there any indication that there's any overlap between those protesters and offenders with organising this protest?
We do have significant intelligence holdings on a small group of people who will be intent on causing confrontation and engaging in criminal behaviour at this protest, similar to that we experienced at the protest you just mentioned. If people engage in criminal behaviour, they can expect to be arrested and dealt with by police.
And are some of them, not obviously naming names, but does the intelligence suggest that some of those people are the same organisers and protesters that were involved in some of that more violent action at land forces?
I would say that we do have intelligence holdings on a group of people. We can't discount that the same people that we saw at that protest you mentioned won't be there on the weekend. But again, we police to the risk, and if people are there at the protest on the weekend to engage in criminal behaviour, they can expect to be arrested and dealt
Have
with.
you been speaking to your counterparts in New South Wales? Obviously, these protesters are planning at the same time as they're planning to shut down the Sydney Harbour Bridge.
Yes, we have.
And I guess, is there any correlation between similar type of people at each protest? What's those conversations been like?
Look, the people in the protest environment in Sydney and Melbourne, like I said, the majority of people in both environments are there to do it for the right reasons and do it lawfully and peacefully.
Just to clarify, would you say that it constitutes an offence if someone does enter if protesters go on the King Street Bridge and block it off? Would that be considered an offence that police would then move in to arrest those people based on that behaviour?
Depending on what it is that they're doing, there's a range of criminal offences that police can consider in the circumstances, so we will assess that range of criminal behaviour and take the appropriate action.
Has anyone else got any other questions? I just want to ask about Wollert. Would you be able to give us an update on the shooting in Wollert yesterday? Is there any update on the investigation, and do you have any suspects?
As I'm briefed at this stage, the investigation is still ongoing and I don't have any further information to give you at this time.
Thank you very much.
Thanks everybody, appreciate it.